Well, hello. Welcome to Cornbread Crate Farm. I'm Perry. As you can tell, we've had a little bit of a harvest, and so here I've got some cucumbers, some zucchini, and then right over here I have some squash. But in today's episode, we're going to deal with the cucumbers. We're just going to make some pickles. If you'll follow the channel, and I really appreciate if you subscribe. But if you follow, we're going to do some zucchini and squash, what's going to come in next week. But for right now, we're just going to worry about how I pickle cucumbers. It's a real simple method. We only need a couple things. First, we need cucumbers, and then we're going to use just some Misery's Wages kosher dill pickle mix, and then I like the pickles to be crispy. They get soggy if you do it without this, but we're just going to use just a little bit of these ball pickle crisp granules. All this stuff is some calcium chloride, so if you find anything that's got this calcium chloride, that's what you're going to need. And we're going to use a little bit of white vinegar. Now you can half white vinegar with apple cider vinegar if you like. It gives it just a little bit different flavor, but just for this episode we're just going to use the white distilled vinegar. Also, I have a pressure canner. We're not, even though I've got a pressure canner, and I'll have a link in the description to this down in the bottom. We're not going to be pressure canning. We're only going to be doing what's called a water bath, these cans, and then I've just got a little old, just regular pot where I'm going to be mixing up my brine for the pickles. All right, well, let's get started. Let me get the pickles out of here and get them on the cutting board. All right, so I have my cucumbers out here, and I've got several different varieties. This is just a peeling cucumber, and this is actually just a regular cucumber, but I mix it up. It don't matter to me. It all makes pickles. But let's go ahead and go over here and go ahead and get our brine started. That way it'll be ready by the time we get done cutting our pickles. But what I like to do is I fill my canner up till there's a line here. I want it deep enough that it's just going to cover the jars. So there's a line actually in this canner. It shows me where to fill it up to. I go ahead and cut it on and let it start heating up, because it holds so much water that it takes a while to get the water boiling. So I've got that ready to go, and then we're fixing to make our brine up in this pot. And y'all ready to start making some pickles? All right, here we go. All right, so what we're gonna need for this is, we'll go off what the package says right there. I'll see if I can get it close enough that you can actually read it. So it calls for 3 1/3 cup white distilled vinegar. So we'll do that. Hey, if you'll notice over here on my pressure canner, I don't have the lid sealed. I just kind of have it covered up. Like I said, I don't want to have any pressure. I'm just use it to get started. All right, let's see here. All right, there's 2 cups. And we're going to do a 1 1/3 cup, which is to right there. If you can even see, I don't know if you can. Let me over here just a bit further. I done lost my, this thing's kind of old. We've been using it for a while. So right there is my marking. So to right there. And that's all the vinegar we're going to need. All right, and then it calls for 7 1/3 cups water. 2, 4, 6, 7 1/3. All right, next we're gonna, I cut my water off. We're just gonna, like I said, I just got this Miss Wages kosher dill pickles. So it's supposed to have all the seasoning in here that you need. Kind of see what it looks like. It just straight up smells just like pickles. Whenever you open it up, we'll pour it right on in there. Woo! Whole house smelling like pickles now. All right, I'm gonna mix this up and go ahead and turn it on. I'm just gonna turn it on medium. Give it time for my for me to get my pickles cut up. And we'll sit here and just stir this up occasionally. All right, let's go back over here to the cutting board. All right, here we are back over here at the cutting board. So I'm gonna divide these up. I'm gonna take some of these and I'm gonna make spears out of them, or pickle, or chips out of them. And then some I'm gonna make spears. So let me get some jars. I don't quite yet know how many. I don't quite yet know how many I'm going to use, but we'll go ahead and just get several out. Now I'm all about serving size, and usually you're not going to eat a whole quart of pickles, so I just use the little pint size all the time. All right, and each one of these that we're going to use, let me take the lids off of them. I figure we're at least going to use 8. If I need more than that, I can get more ready. But what I'm doing in these jars, I said, like, we're wanting to make these things crispy, so we're going to use these pickle crisp granules. Open it up and let you see what they look like. They're just some little granules there, and we're going to use 1/4 teaspoon in each jar. So I'll go ahead and put that in each one of them. Tell you what else I'm gonna do just to give it a little bit of extra season. This ball makes some mixed pickling spice. I'm gonna use 1/4 teaspoon in each one of these. Just to, that way it's not overpowering, but gosh, I can't say that word. Power, you know what I mean. Powering. Good gosh, I didn't know I couldn't say that. I say power, ring. All right, I'm just gonna quit. I know y'all gonna eat me up in the comments about that. All right. Now I think we're ready to do some cutting, filling these jars up. Move them over here out of the way. We'll go ahead and start with some slices. I'm going to cut the end off of that, and these going to be some big old slices. We'll just start this. Uh-oh. That's a big old slice there. All right, let's see how many we can fit in the jar there. Those are rather large. Maybe should have used these for chips, but all right. There's one. Actually, I used them for chips, but I should have used them for spears probably. Let's use a smaller one this time. Yeah, that's probably more appropriate. I'm going to stir my seasoning up a little bit. All right. I'm going to go ahead and make some spears. See about cutting that about in half. All right, let's see how that does. About the right length. All right. All right, y'all, I'm gonna quit talking and just start cutting these things up, and where I can speed it up. Y'all ain't gotta just hear me talk constantly and watch me just cut up pickles. Now I'm all about serving size, and usually you're not gonna eat a whole quart of pickles, so I just use the little pint size all the time. All right, and each one of these that we're going to use, let me take the lids off of them. I figure we're at least going to use 8. If I need more than that, I can get more ready. But what I'm doing in these jars, I said, like, we're going to make these things crispy, so we're going to use these pickle crisp granules. Open it up and let you see what they look like. They're just some little granules there, and we're going to use 1/4 teaspoon in each jar. So I'll go ahead and put that in each one of them. Tell you what else I'm going to do just to give it a little bit of extra season. This ball makes some mixed pickling spice. I'm going to use 1/4 teaspoon in each one of these. Just to, that way it's not overpowering, but gosh, I can't say that word. Power, you know what I mean. Powering. Good gosh, I didn't know I couldn't say that. I can say power ring. All right, I'm just gonna quit. I know y'all gonna eat me up in the comments about that. All right. Now I think we're ready to do some cutting, filling these jars up. Move them over here out of the way. We'll go ahead and start with some slices. I'm going to cut the end off of that, and these going to be some big old slices. We'll just start this. Uh-oh. That's a big old slice there. All right, let's see how many we can fit in the jar there. Those are rather large. Maybe should have used these for chips, but all right. There's one. Actually, I used them for chips, but I should have used them for spears probably. Let's use a smaller one this time. Yeah, that's probably more appropriate. I'm gonna stir my seasoning up a little bit. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and make some. Go ahead and make some spears. See about cutting that about in half. All right, let's see how that does. About the right length. All right. All right, y'all, I'm gonna quit talking and just start cutting these things up, and where I can speed it up. Y'all ain't gotta just hear me talk constantly and watch me just cut up pickles. If you're wondering why I keep standing it up, I'm measuring the jar to make sure that the pickles will fit in the jar when I cut it. So I'm using that part to stand up, and then right there I'll slice up and use for chips. Well, I just made that mistake, but I was busy talking instead of paying attention to what I was doing. So I'm actually going to be a little bit short, but oh well. And we're making a lot of pickles. All right, this last one looks about pitiful, but I'm gonna try to get as much of it in there as I can. See if I can slide that in there somewhere. And I'm just gonna toss that part. All right. All right, let me do a little cleaning up real quick, and then our seasoning ought to be, or our brine ought to be done. And I'll bring you back and we'll fill these jars up. Okay, as you can see, our brine's mixed up. And let me our water's boiling, so we're ready to go. So we're here and we'll get ready to fill these things up. I'm gonna take this off the eye and I'll set it right there. I use a little wide mouth funnel, and what I want to do is I actually want to fill the brine up to right there on each one of these. So let me mix it up real good each time I do it. All right, right there about as far as it goes. Keep this mixed up. If you'll see, this one's got this I don't know if you can see it or not, but let me show you this cucumber right here. It's in the way. It's keeping the water from getting down there. We got a little tool we can use. Let me show you. If you buy one of these little canning kits, it'll come on this thing. Is you can take it and kind of just run it down the side like that, and it kind of just takes the air out. All right, let's get back to it. Well, this mixture a little bit goes a long ways. You'll wonder if you're gonna have enough when you're canning, but you always will. You'll have too much. I said that earlier about having too much, but we're gonna be kind of cutting it close. Yeah, I'm gonna have one jar, it's not gonna get filled. Got some of these that's got just a little bit too much in them. Let me empty them off into this one. All right, now it'll be good enough. We're gonna have one that we just ain't got enough for. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little two and kind of we're gonna try to push everything all the way down in there. Stuff kind of wants to float. All right, now we want to take a towel or something and just kind of clean the tops of each one of these jars to make sure we ain't got nothing on it like a seed or anything that will cause it not to seal. All right, let's get us some lids on here. Now we put these lids on, we just want to put it on till it quits turning. We're not going extremely tight with it. We're just making sure it closes. As you seen that that pickle seasoning, there was enough to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 1-pint jars. That's a pretty good bit. I don't like the way these closed the last time. Trying to, there we go. They just feel like they didn't spin on there right. I'm just going back and rechecking them. Hear how that pops. We don't want it doing that once we're done doing this. All right, we're ready to put them in the canner now. Bring you over here to it. Looks like I lost a little bit of recording. All I did was just bring these jars over here a little bit closer, and I went and got my little jar grabber. That way I don't get burnt. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab a jar and just go here and set it down in the water. You notice it's not quite tall enough right now to cover it, but as I get these jars in here, they'll wind up covering the whole thing. See, it's done way over the top of it now. All right, I'm not gonna be able to. Yeah, I can get that one in there. So I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 jars in there comfortably. So what we'll do now is let it get up to a boil, and once it gets to a good boil, then we're going to leave it in there for 10 minutes. If you're doing quart jars, you're going to leave it in there for 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set the lid on top of it, just like that, just where it can make it come to a boil. Well, once it gets done, we'll bring you back and we'll have a look at it. Okay, they've been sitting in the water bath for 10 minutes, so now we're going to start taking them out. And we're just going to set them over here on this drying cloth over here. Now, after these pickles cool off, they're not going to be ready for 2 weeks. You have to let them sit for 2 weeks and let them fully get saturated with the brine. And after 2 weeks, you can start eating them. But the longer you let them sit, the better they are. Here's our first big batch of the big chips. Kind of show you what the smaller ones look like. And let you see what the spears look like. Okay, we got 2 more cans in here. All right, here shortly we'll start hearing these lids start popping. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take these other ones and go ahead and set them in the water bath. Now we'll let them come to a rolling boil and boil for 10 minutes. Come over here and take a look at those pickles. There we go. And it makes a few little rings on you where it drips, but it cleans up easy. All right, so let's let these go for a little while and then we'll be completely done with them. All right, it's finally done. I cut this thing off. If you like this video on the pickles, you ought to check out the other video I did on pickling eggs. We use a little bit different seasoning in it, but we're doing the water bath canning just like what we're doing here. with them. As this was boiling and sitting, some of these other jars had already started popping, letting me know that they're sealed now and they're ready to sit on a shelf for a long time. All right, man, that looks good. Them has good seasoning in it. All right, let me bring you in for a good close look at these pickles. And they just look wonderful. But y'all, you don't know how much I've enjoyed having you in my kitchen as we did this canning. We're just gonna let these set for a little while, and they'll get where they don't do that popping at all. They'll be good and sealed, and these things will last for years on the shelf. So you'll always have some good food storage, but most of the time they don't really last that long. They get ate up pretty quick. It's pretty good pickles. So anyway, once again, thank you for joining me. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate each and every one of you that have subscribed to my channel and is helping it grow. I can't tell you how much I thank you. Even if you haven't subscribed, I still appreciate you just watching and leaving the comments that you leave. It just warms my heart. So from the bottom of my heart, I love each and every one of you the same way God loves each and every one of you. And I always remember, say hey, you mama and them for me. Goodbye, love y'all.